He's pretty happy with the way he looks, but there's a certain look on women that he simply can't stand. And even though he works in clubs as a DJ, he refuses to go to clubs to meet women. Please welcome Mike Siragioli. Siragioli, right? Well, I guess if you work in clubs, you see everything that goes on, but it's a problem for you? Is there a problem with women that go to clubs?
Well, I have the impression that a lot of women have a power trip that go into nightclubs. You see, they like getting a lot of phone numbers and seeing how many phone numbers they can give out and that sort of type of thing.
Yeah. Well, let's say you get a number. Do you always call it?
Yes, I consider myself in one of the few percentages that will call a girl back, because if I do ask for a phone number,
you really want
I really want to get her phone number, and I would like to get into a relationship.
Let's talk a little bit about this look that you hate on women. What is the look that you're talking about?
The one look that I can't stand on a woman is the white face, red lipstick, black hair, death rocker look. I can't deal with that. Living in Southern California, the sun shines all the time. There's no reason why a girl has to look with white face. And I try to figure, Chuck, what traumatized these girls in their life to make them look like this?
Well, we're going to show you portions of the videotapes that Mike saw. Now, remember, he agreed to let our audience decide who he's going to go out with, so you're going to pick his date, okay? First, there's Valerie. When a man takes her out, she expects him to make all the plans. She rates herself a 10, and if there's one thing she'd change about herself, it would be that she could eat anything and not get fat. She wants to become a hand model, and we asked her what type of hands she likes on a man.
Not perfect, but very, very clean hands. And clean fingernails, no dirt under there. That just turns me off. And he doesn't have to be real into his body and working out 5 days a week. To be honest, if he's maybe 5 or 10 pounds overweight, that's okay. I'm not turned off by it at all.
That's Lori from Charlotte, North Carolina. She describes herself as spunky. She claims that she can't stand men who wear Speedos or who scream, "Yo mama," at her from across the room. And here's something else Lori doesn't like.
I don't like a guy that'll say, you ask him a question, and he'll say, well, it could be this way, it could be that way. I like someone that knows what they want and goes after it, and or knows what they think. I don't like someone that's wishy-washy. And in that sense, I am spunky. I mean, I want someone that's as spunky as me and is alive for the things that they believe in.
All right, finally, Lisa. She says that parking lots are a good place to meet men, but she describes most of the men that she's been meeting lately as pretty shallow. Some have been known to call her by another woman's name, but all the men that she meets mention her hair, and here's what they ask.
They always ask me the same stupid question if it's natural. And if you can see, there's no roots and it is natural, but that's what they always say. Except a lot of times I get the compliment that it's pretty and it's unusual, and that's a lot of times when they try and talk to me, that's what they bring up. But I hate it when they ask me if it's natural, because my skin tone and everything, I'm so fair that it's pretty obvious that it is.
All right, you met Mike, you've seen his 3 choices. Who do you think would be the best person for him? Let me take a look and see who you're going to go out with. Well, here we go. Well, they chose Lori, 68%. Let's see who you'll be going out with. Good luck on your date. Stay right there, and let me tell you that that's our show for today. We'll be back next time with more singles trying to make a love connection. Until then, I'm Chuck Woolery, and I hope all your dates are good ones. Bye-bye, everybody.
If you would like to be on...
Our next guest, a few weeks ago, our studio audience selected a date for him. We're going to meet him right now. He admits that he can be a wise guy at times, but he says that his sexy green eyes they captivate women. Well, they may capitate a few, too. He's a disc jockey in a nightclub, and from what he's seen, he thinks that men deserve the bad trip that they get from women there. Please welcome Mike, I'll try to get this right, Siragioli. Did I get it right, Mike? Siragioli, is that right? Oh, Siragioli. So men in nightclubs, you think they deserve the bad deal they get there with women?
Oh, yes, they do.
Why?
A lot of men that go to nightclubs to go fishing, basically. Go in there for the idea, thinking that they're going to be getting lucky that night. Go in,
she says.
They go there evaluating different women there, seeing who's their score for the night and such, and who they're going to work on.
Do women get embarrassed when you act like a wise guy? Because I don't know what that is, really. I don't know what you do to act like a wise guy, but let's assume that we do. Do they get embarrassed by it?
Sometimes. But, like, let's say I go out to dinner, and...
Are you just real smart aleck, or kind of? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'll sit at dinner, and the waiter will take long, and I'll say a wisecrack, like, you know, where'd you kill that one from? Or, you know, the meat would be real, you know, the steak would still be really rare. And I'll say, you know, with a good doctor, you get that thing alive again. And waiter gets all offended by it, but I'll leave a good tip for him at the end of the night.
Doesn't matter.
Nah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd do that anymore. Mike agreed to let the audience choose his date. We're going to show everybody the 3 women they had to choose from. First, it was Valerie. When a man takes her out, she expects him to make all the plans. Next was Laurie. She can't stand men who wear Speedos or who scream, "Yo mama," at her from across the street. Finally, Lisa. It really bugs her that every man she meets asks if she's a natural blonde. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll meet the woman that the audience selected for Mike, and we'll do that right after this.
Game of the week.
We're back. Mike's going to remind us who the audience selected.
They selected Laurie.
Good day. Yeah. She's backstage. Hello, Laurie Smith. Hi, Laurie.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yo, just make yourself at home back there, and welcome to the show, and Mike will start us off.
Okay, I was back in New Jersey at West Milford, my hometown, for a visit, and that's where I called her from. We talked for about 20 minutes because it was long distance, and I basically described to her what I look like, and...
How did he describe himself to you?
Well, he said he was 6 foot, had dark brown hair and green eyes, which sounded really great until he said, "You won't be disappointed." And I thought, God, this guy's got an ego.
Now what happens?
So it came down to the time of the date, and I decided that we're going to go to the Raider-Cincinnati Bengal football game, playoff game.
Well, that's a big game.
It was a big game.
Big game. Now, are you a football fan, Laurie?
Oh, I love football.
Yeah,
It's great.
okay, so, all right.
Okay, so I pull up to her house, who lives about 45 minutes away, and I said, you know, and I walked out to her complex, and I was trying to look for an apartment, and I hear somebody call my name. And I look up, and I see a really good-looking girl on the balcony. And I looked up, and I'm like, oh, all right, this could be pretty good. So we walk up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and Laurie answered, and I said, hi, is Laurie here? And she said it was, she said, I'm Laurie, and I kind of said, what about her? And I looked up, and...
Not a good thing to do. What was your first impression of Mike, Laurie?
Well, he had really goopy, greasy hair. He had absolutely no chest. I like a guy that you can hold on to. And he had the biggest, hugest bubble butt ever in tight Guess jeans.
Chuck, we were going to a football game.
Mike, you're going to a football game.
We're going to a football game.
So you go.
Okay, we hop in the truck, my truck, and we're headed up to the game. Now, I brought a change of clothes because I was expecting on going to a nice restaurant after the game.
Right.
But after taking a look at her, I said, we're not going to a nice restaurant after the game. So I'm trying to think of other ways out of this to...
Well, now, you thought you were going to dinner, right?
Right, and I had picked out this really sexy suede outfit, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get out of wearing it because he wasn't even worth the laundry bill for it.
Oh, Mike.
Chuck.
So the game was good because the
I
Raiders
enjoyed the
won.
game, yes. Well, no, I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan.
Sorry. Actually, I should be, too, because I grew up very close to
I'm a
Cincinnati,
Bengal fan.
but, anyway.
So anyway, we're at the game, and we were sitting on the aisle, and which was kind of good because we were looking to the left for the field. And the only time that I did have to look right was to look at the scoreboard because I didn't even want to look at it. Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It was. You guys just were on each other's nerves.
Oh, God. More
Did you
than
enjoy
know.
the game, Laurie?
The game was pretty boring because he kept talking about all the people that he knew that played for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm thinking, yeah, sure you do. But really, who cared? I didn't care.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
the Raiders win, which must have been devastating.
It was kind of heartbreaking, but that's okay. I'm also a Giant fan.
Oh.
Okay. So...
This is really really convenient. I mean, you know, if you're not a fan of one who wins, you got one over here who wins. So don't worry about it.
Okay, so during the game, I wanted to go down and get some food for the concession. I asked her, you know, would you like something to eat? She said, no, a Coke. So I said, okay. So I went down and got myself a hot dog and some couple Cokes, and I just sat there watching the game on the screen. I sat there for another 15 minutes because I didn't have anything really to go up to the stands. I didn't have any hurry to run up there real quick.
Yeah.
So he brings back your Coke, yes?
So he brings back 2 Cokes, one for him and one for himself, and some other food for himself.
One for him.
And his Coke didn't have any ice in it. So I said, Mike, didn't they have any more ice? You know, here, you can have mine. And he said, no, I don't trust the water. And I said, oh, okay, sure. Kind of strange to me.
Well,
So after the game, we decided on leaving. So we went down to the buses where Cincinnati was supposed to be coming out to get on their buses, because I had my friend Kevin Walker, who plays for the Bengals. He's going to meet us out there. So we get out there, we saw Kevin, and I really didn't want to introduce her to him, but he asked me, you know, where's your love connection date? And I said, Kevin, this is Lori. Lori, this is Kevin. And I could see in his face that he was ready to bust up laughing.
Chuck, first of all, he's sitting there, and the guy from the Cincinnati Bengals, yes, they're really good friends, and he's saying, yeah, I'm going to be coming out to L.A. soon. And Mike's all, oh, yeah, well, I'll show you all around L.A. Like, Mike really knows where the happening things are in L.A. Kind of found that hard to believe.
All right, Chuck.
whoa. So no dinner.
No, we went to dinner. Because
You did go to
I
dinner?
was hungry.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that's weighed out.
Well, I'm a nice guy, and I just said, you know, I told her we're going to go to dinner.
Yeah, was he a wise guy during dinner, by the way?
Oh, more than you know. He ordered a drink, and it did not come in 2 seconds. So finally, when it arrived, he said to the waiter, where'd you have to go to make this? And then he kept ordering, like, bowls of chips that you get at a Mexican restaurant over and over, and every time, because he was too cheap to buy appetizers, obviously. And so once the chips arrived, every single time, I mean, there must have been 4 or 5 baskets of chips, he kept saying, these are free, right? These are free.
Oh, no.
So then he scarfed down his burrito, like you wouldn't believe. And,
What's wrong with you, Chuck?
and he said, God, I'm really hungry. I could go for another one of these, but it's really not worth the $8. So he ordered more chips, of course, because he's cheap.
Cheap. Chuck, with the amount of money that I get put to go on my date, that was just about paid for the game tickets. I didn't feel like going out on the limb to impress her or anything, because she didn't impress me at all.
That's too bad.
It's mutual.
Well, it's too bad for both of you, really, but I guess it's safe to
Yeah.
assume that you don't want another date with Lori.
No, I don't.
Well, Lori, I'm sorry we didn't make a love connection for you, but...
Yeah, well, I just want to tell Mike one thing. You might take a second look at yourself, because you're really not as good as you think you are.
Well, when the audience chooses a date and it doesn't work out, we offer a date with one of the other 2 women. Let's take a look at them, and Mike will have another shot at this. First, there's Valerie. Like a lot of women, she wishes she could eat anything and not get fat. Lisa, she's a natural blonde who's been meeting a lot of shallow women. So I don't know whether you'd be interested in either one of those 2 ladies, but if you would, we'd be happy to support you in that.
I'm an open-minded guy. I think I might try to go out with Valerie. I think it's
Valerie? Yeah. Okay. Sorry this didn't work out. Hopefully that one will. Come back and tell us about that one, okay? And that's our show for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more singles to make a left connection. I'm Chuck Woolery. I hope all your dates are good ones tonight.